Warning! Warning! I am an idiot. I'm just a guy in a pole barn. Get it? Pole barn garage. Anything I say to do, you do at your own risk. I'm just some dude. Let that be your disclaimer. Let's get on with the show. Well, we're going to change things up a little bit here. We got us a different project to work on. Just one little thing. Holy Goat's heading to World of Wheels for a car show. So, you gotta fill the extra time I got with something. Let's bring the vet in. If you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you'll recognize this car. I drove this car to Tucson, Arizona for the duct tape drags last year, along with my brother. She did good. It's a good car. And this is my fair weather daily driver. You know, if it ain't awful out, I'll drive it to work. Well, the last time I did, the radiator went kaboom. So, I went and bought me a Champion replacement. Now, there's no sponsorship stuff here. I just bought that on my own. And I've used Champion radiators in every other car here. They've been excellent. They're affordable, and they've got pretty good quality control on them. I've never had an issue. Now, this will be a good test. These cars are finicky as all get out. Hopefully it fits in there, because that's a 4-core, and I bought a 4-core aluminum. So, we'll save a little weight off the front of it. Always a good thing. And hopefully cool a little better. Although that didn't have any issues. It's just one of the tubes and it blew up. Well, I guess our first step ought to be to unbox it, huh? Oh my God, this thing's a monster. They do call it their monster line. And I see why. Holy crap. This thing is ginormous. And it was $275. That's nothing. Look at that freaking beef, man. I haven't done one of these for quite a while. It's just these 2 bolts here. And there's got to be something underneath holding it on. This is my homemade fan setup here. That is a fan out of a mid-90s Thunderbird or Cougar. And I just trimmed the shroud to fit the radiator. And used the factory radiator mounts to bolt it in. And that was excellent. I hope I can reuse that. Well, I guess the first step would be to take these out. I guess I actually made some kind of bracket to bolt that in. I never remember what I actually did to things, you know. I'm going to try to be lazy and just take out all the bolts on the top and hope that I can just give it the reach around, you know. I'm also going to hope the trans cooler isn't attached to the radiator because I don't want to deal with any of that. I just kind of want to, you know, just unbolt it and bolt it in. That's never going to happen. Here's one. It's kind of a cool design how they did that. GM engineering there for sure. You know, let's just, oh crap, it don't fit, Bill. Okay, let's just weld it on there sideways. It does appear to fit though. So that's cool. That was one of my big concerns. Well, I guess I gotta get under there to unbolt the bottom of it. Which is not my favorite thing to do on this car. Between the side pipes and the front spoiler and the Corvette part, it's really hard to get in there. But gotta do what we gotta do, I guess. Can't just hit this one with the Sawzall. I got some like homemade brackets for that fan shroud on here. I'm thinking if I just remove those, should just be able to lift the whole shebang out of there. I had a couple of them trans cooler zip ties holding this in, but there's your proof that I buy out of junkyards exclusively. You can see my homemade bracketry with insulator pads made out of a serpentine belt. You see, fellers, this isn't an act. Okay, I mean, this is I do this all the time. Camera, no camera. I just figure I'll record it from now on. Time to pull the train line, so much for my clean shop floor. That lasted all of about 10 seconds. I am wondering why I do this to myself. Like, what is the purpose of having like 15 cars? I don't understand. Oh, of course the hose clamp would fall in the bucket of fluid. Oh well. Alright. Yeah, it shouldn't be much holding it in now. Unless I'm wrong. And I usually am. Come on. Come on. Oh. Man, there's just very little room. Let's try not to make a mess. But I'm not getting my hopes up. No. I said, come on. Oh, God, come on. Just gotta recycle this. Well, since the AC isn't hooked up, wouldn't mind pulling out that AC condenser while I'm in here. Not sure how, but Sawzall might help us there. Then we'll just have to make a little mount to hold the trans cooler, but that's no big deal. Now that this is finished recycling, it was just water anyway, actually, but here's where it was leaking from. See right here. It was right in this tank here. Bye-bye with that. I mean, it looks like the right shape. I guess we'll see if it is. Well, this makes me nervous. Gotta say, unless you have years of trained Sawzall expertise like I do, I wouldn't suggest doing that around a fiberglass car. Or ever. Speaking of air conditioning, Vintage Air, if you're watching, you know, wouldn't mind a air conditioning kit for a 75 Corvette. Would be pretty cool. I could probably give you a shout out. You're not watching. Let you. It oozed everywhere. I went to duct tape drags down in Tucson, Arizona last year. You know, I did the fan thing, and I went in to go get my hat autographed, you know, by everybody. And Lucky Costa was there, and Derek, Vice Grip Garage, Freiberger, Finnegan. And then I walk in there and I say, hey guys, I just drove 1,500 miles here in a 75 Corvette. And Lucky goes, really? That's cool. So are you going to leave in something cool? And I was like, man. Anywho. Actually, they were all great guys, so just giving me a hard time. But look at me now, Lucky. Look at me now. Yep, big time YouTuber. Scabbing a piece of crap car together. Core support down there's got a little rust on it. No holes though, that's a good sign. So while that's I can get to it, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and just hose it down with some engine enamel. You know, I'm not gonna prep it or, you know, put any effort into it. Give me a break, but you know, we can at least do that. Now that that's completely rebuilt in there, I even rebuilt the pulleys on it and the cross member. And now that that's totally rebuilt, let's let it set up and tack just enough that we can install the radiator and then ruin everything we just did. We come out here to the original radiator. You can see I left the lower hose on. There's a good reason for that. That's because they are a nightmare to take off in the car. This ends up doing something like that, or I don't know, like that, or I don't know. Anyway, I want to use this as a template because I remember putting that hose on and having to cut it down quite a bit, and as you can see, about 2 or 3 inches needs to come off. I'm not going to go all the way with that, but I am going to start off taking at least 1 inch off of here, just in case. Because man, I remember fighting that stupid hose for like an hour, and I don't want to do that again. So. Well, there wasn't much room for the factory one. Then you go trying to put something bigger in there. Well, you just run into all kinds of problems. Hit? Hit? No, probably not. Well, maybe. Uh-oh. Huh, I don't think the radiator's supposed to be a press fit. I'm not asking. It's like it needs to bottom to go that way. Well, this has been absolutely no fun, but if I haven't got it, I'm pretty damn close. Wiggle, shake, bake, shake, shake, shake. You know what? That's good enough for the girls I go with. Maybe not. They might have some more standards. There you go. Come on now, you son of a buck biscuit. God, fence jumping piece of mongoose swirling, toilet riding. Just had to talk nice to you, you know. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. What's the biggest pain in the ass you've ever worked on? Let me know in the comments below. Should be interesting reading. Well, here's what I got going on here. I just kind of got these loose bolted in here. Just to kind of sort of position it. Look at the angle of that lower neck. It runs right into the crossmember. I don't think it's quite as upswept. I think this is dang near a 90. This one is not. And that's a very, very serious manufacturing problem. Yeah, I would go ahead and call the fitment of that very poor, actually. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I think we put a little insulation to keep it from rubbing there. It'll be okay. Here's a little tech tip for you. Anytime you've got rubber rubbing on, you know, the car, or I don't know, a hose that vibrate, you know, you don't want it to just pop through it. Keep some old radiator hoses around, and you can just cut you a little clamshell like that. Put that where it's touching. It'll rub on this, isolate that. And then if you are real paranoid, just take you a zip tie and tie it on there, and it'll kind of clean it up too. No one will ever notice. Let's go ahead and pour some water in it and make sure that it doesn't pour out on the ground before we go too much further. Probably said it before, but if you've got a farm at home by you, this Durex antifreeze, it's just regular green antifreeze, is $8 for a gallon. It's on sale, $9 normally. I don't know why it's half the price of every other place, but it is. And I stock up on it every time it's on sale. I'm down to my last jug here. Don't spend $16 for a gallon of antifreeze at the parts store. That is highway robbery. Go find you a farm at home and pick you up some of this. Every time I use the hose, I end up looking like I peed myself. Looks like my home-growed wind maker here will bolt in just like it was made for it. Well, that's never coming out. Cross-threading, nature's Loctite. Well, let's plug it in and maybe get a test drive in before we run out of daylight. Before we can do that, we got to burp the cooling system, and I will show you how I do that. That worked really well. I did a good job making that. I'm going to give myself some props. Basically, just fire it up with the cap off, and you can do this on any of them that your fill port is higher than the rest of the system, or close to it. It'll sucker all down. You pretty much got to let it run until the thermostat opens. Then it'll fill the engine up and burp all the air out of it up here. To get yourself one of these guys from Hazardous Freight, it can really help you out. It'll tell you exactly how hot it's getting without having to trust an old gauge or anything, you know? It's been a minute since I drove this thing. Be good to get it back on the road. He's running nice and cool. Oh, you can't see it. Dang it. Hell, this thing's got a full tank of gas. That's worth like half as much as the car now. Not bad for a turd vet. surprise me if it does not. But we can try. Alright, car. Let's beat the crap out of it. That'll make me feel better. It's pathetic, but not bad. I think the posi might be a little weak. I like to make fun of Corvette guys as much as anybody else, but I gotta tell you, if you've never driven a C3, you ought to try it sometime. I was not a believer until I bought this car. There's something about them. They're special. Even an old turd 75 smog model like this, still a lot of fun to drive. Ugh, now I gotta clean the shop again. When you get back from a road test, park it somewhere dry-ish and just, you know, make sure it's not puking. And I always say, beat the crap out of it when you're testing on it, you know? Drive it harder than you normally would. That way it brakes in a controlled environment and not, you know, when you're on your way to work or something like that. Well, fellers, fellerettes, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Pole Barn Garage. Don't worry, the Holy Goat will be back in style at a car show. But, you know, we got some housekeeping to take care of with other vehicles. So I've asked in a poll on YouTube, what do you want to see next? And overwhelmingly, you want to see JD's 59 Ford. And we may be able to do part of that next. We might do a body and paint work special on it, like how to make your car look good on the cheap. And it'll be kind of a father and son thing. But that has been the overwhelming percentage of what you guys have wanted, and a lot of you responded. Thank you for that. The only thing I have with that, I need that Corvette. That's actually my daily driver when it's spring and summertime, and the transmission sucks in it, which you guys saw. So I've got a turbo 350. I might just plop in it for now, and I think I have everything to do it here. So I would like to do that, but we could probably body and paint his car in between. I don't know. I may just see if I can live with this one the way it is for a little while. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, guys. I know there's still about half of you that, you know, watch but don't subscribe. And, you know, getting that subscription number up is important as far as, you know, whether or not you're a YouTuber or a guy who does YouTube. Not that I really care, but if we want to grow and if you guys want to keep seeing, you know, this kind of thing, we need to grow that subscriber number some. And if you could do that, I just really appreciate it. Liking the videos, sharing is caring, and be kind, rewind. And hit the bell. If you hit that bell, you'll see all the new videos when they pop up. You'll see any post I make, pictures I upload, whatever. And remember to follow us on Pole Barn Garage at Instagram and Facebook. Just search Pole Barn Garage, it'll pop right up. We got a big group there. Thanks again to Roadkill Customs. Just a general sponsor and life coach of mine, Buzz over there. Thank you guys. I really appreciate every one of you.